Obviously, good win for your team and your program. If you could just give us a quick opening statement, and then we'll open up for questions.
Well, it was a gritty, tough, grinded out win. Typical of a Missouri Valley game that we're kind of usually into. The 15 seasons, 16 years I've been here, it's been quite the ride. There are a lot of games like that, and we were able to make enough plays in this game to win it. And we had our chances to put the game away and didn't get it done. And to their credit, they got back in the game and made some plays, and then we had to grind it out there at the end and run the clock. But we had a lot of guys make plays, and defense played pretty good today, I thought, for the most part. There's some things they can improve on, but then we ran the ball fairly effective. I thought Sobkowitz had a good game, and we did some good things, but onward and upward. We get a victory here, and now we worry about the next one.
Questions for Coach?
Brock, what kind of difference does having Amir back on the defense make?
Well, I think you saw it right away. I mean, he didn't get a sack, but he forced the quarterback to flush, and he's a little rusty, and the speed of the game is, even for a guy as talented as Amir, and as well as Amir runs, it was getting back up to speed in that scenario. But I thought he got better as the game went on, and he needed that to get ready for the stretch run here in November. And I'm just glad to have him back. He makes a big difference with our pass rush and some of the things we can do. From a play calling standpoint, it helps Travis to have a guy like him. And that really helped us today. It meant a lot, no doubt.
Tommy takes that safety early. Was that something that you're obviously hoping he gets rid of the ball sooner?
Yeah, we hope, but we got to protect him. The back there, he slipped off the blocker. It was a corner blitz, and the corner came underneath him a little bit, and just was not great technique, and got beat technically because he had all the assignments were correct, but his technique wasn't great, and caused a problem there because Tommy's getting ready to throw football, and he's got to throw it. So, I know the player that was. Did that was he's a really good football player. They just made a mistake at that point, which is that's part of the game. You have to execute, and we didn't execute our technique right there. But that particular guy executed a lot of other things really well today. So
just having Amir and Keandre back, that you've been missing them the last couple, does this kind of take your defense to another level?
A better level, obviously. Yeah, it helps us. We get a guy around the line of scrimmage that can really athletic, and then Keandre's he's kind of a fixer. He's an eraser. He erases all a lot of mistakes back there. He plays with a fire that's really rare, particularly in this day and age of guys that play with a high energy and high motor, and you almost gotta you really worry about him out there sometimes because he gets so involved, so into the game. He might say something or do something that he really don't want to mean to do, but he just kind of loses it. He just got that kind of attitude, and it's nice to have that kid. Where Amir's a little more controlled, and Amir's you get a lot from his athleticism. Keandre, his motor runs 100 miles an hour. He's intense, and he spills that throughout the defense. That just makes him play better. That's why he's a captain.
Wright and Lawson had several
big runs,
fairly big runs.
Yeah.
And was the run game obviously a key today to control the ball?
It was, Glatz came in and for a brief time there and caught a nice pass in the flat and got us the first down. He had a nice run, so that was helpful as well. Kate kind of gave those two guys a little bit of a rest, and it's nice. We have good backs here, and we're not afraid to play any of them. But those two kids were very, very good, and 25 is starting to get a feel for he's really smart. He doesn't play like a freshman. He plays like a two-year starter. Really, he's very, very sharp and smart, and he's a very explosive player and can accelerate. He's a really good player. So I'm glad he's here, and it's nice to have a guy like him. And he's from the Chicago area, and that's heart and soul of a recruit, and he's been really good.
Coach, preparing for a quarterback like theirs, having Tommy being able to kind of scramble, how much did that help your preparation going into the week?
Well, we didn't use Tommy for that but we do go good on good some, so that does help. If you have a guy that can run around, we have Beckham. He's a appellant. Is a pretty nifty guy. He did a really good job this week. But we also have a couple guys over there that can help us run around a little bit. That are on the scout team, that are receivers or they're DBs that we put in, and we use them as rabbits, and we tried to really have a spy player. I couldn't answer your question in front of everybody earlier this week, and so we had and we had a spy player in everything we did. Everything we did there was a spy. That's why you saw him flush, but he had to get a good out bounds because there was somebody else there. And it could have been a linebacker, could have been safety, could have been a corner. It could have been an outside backer, it could have been a defensive end, but there's someone that could rein him in and that was responsible. So he didn't get too out of control, hopefully, but you can see how difficult it is to defend a player like him. He just scrambles all over the place and extends plays, and he's very very good at what he does. I thought we did a pretty good job on him, and we hustled and we chased that. Our pass rush had to really be able to hustle. That's the number one fundamental football is effort. And the number one thing you have to do as a pass rusher is effort. If you don't have that, you're not going to be very good. And that's what we did. Our kids played a lot of effort and played a lot of players up front today. So it was pretty good job.
Does every game in November, particularly a win, does it kind of clarify what you need to do the rest of the way to make the playoffs?
Yeah, it's starting to, take. As I was looking at the scores when I came up, okay, this is what you're gonna have to do now, and this is who you gotta beat, and this is where you gotta be. You can't lose this game, can't lose that game, whatever. And it's starting to show, and it's what we like to be in around here. It's what we're used to, and it's fun. That's why we do this. And so the more you win, the more these games get more important as the season goes along. And especially in November. So it's just part of it.
There you go. Thank you, Coach.
It's been 7 long weeks. It felt great to be out there with my brothers.
Heck yeah.
I'll tell you how it felt too. It felt really good. I was really happy to have him back out there.
It was awesome watching him on the sideline.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun today.
Do you feel like you're back to being your old self?
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm just knocking a little rust off, but I'm just glad to be out there, give all glory to God. I had fun today, a lot of fun.
Getting a couple pressures early and a sack too. Did that kind of tell you that you were back too?
Yeah, that was my welcome back for myself. I'm I'm back now. So I was listening to that song by Jay-Z, allowed me to reintroduce myself. That's how I felt out there the whole day.
Well, Ty, what was it? How much difference does having this guy back mean?
No, I was telling the radio guys downstairs, it's a huge difference. I call him a game wrecker, and that's what he is. He's a game wrecker. He changes up the whole entire game playing for the other teams, and it's used to have him back. We're really excited. He's just going to keep getting better. He had a good game today, but he's going to keep getting better, and it's going to be scary the last 2 weeks what he's going to do. So,
Appreciate that.
yeah.
Tommy, kind of a tough start with that safety, but after that, it seemed like the offense was pretty good and fairly balanced the rest of the way.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Give all kudos to the guys up front. Always starts with them, and then everyone around me made plays when they needed to. All receivers, tight ends, running backs. Felt good to get our running game going. Just helps me a lot. Makes my job a lot easier.
Does just kind of the overall team feeling, and even though you guys are on different sides of the ball, but having 22 back, does that kind of leak into the offense a little bit?
Yeah, I felt today was just great complimentary football. Like when they had to go out critical situations, everything they responded, and I always trust those guys on defense. They prepare us well for the week throughout practice, and I know they will come prepared on Saturday.
Ty, what was the key to kind of keeping that quarterback from picking up a lot of rushing yards like he has this year?
I mean, it was a big game plan for that. There's some plays we watch in film, and it's like, oh my gosh, we got to play this guy this week because there's some plays where he just takes off and runs for 50, 60 yards, and it's like, ah. But the game plan this week was pretty simple. It was just we're gonna have a lot of spies, and then we're gonna play a little bit of zone and just keep your eyes on the quarterback because we know what he could do with his legs, and I feel like we did a really good job of keeping him in the pocket today and not allowing. He had a couple of runs like 10, 15 yards, but I don't think he had anything over 20. And that was kind of like the big thing. Like we know he's gonna get a couple, but don't let him be a 60-yard touchdown, and that's what we did today. So.
How is intercepting a pass with a cast different than intercepting a pass without a cast?
Well, I didn't drop one last week. The ball went right through my hands last week. So to get one this week it made me a lot happier because it was not a happy time last week during halftime in the locker room. But I was happy to get that one, and it's nothing crazy. So chill.
Sounds like.
DeAndre, again from the defensive standpoint, just having Amir back, and you had missed a couple weeks too. Did it feel like the defense had kind of come together and was back to what you guys want it to be?
Oh yes, sir. We was real confident out there, just having fun and have everybody back. It was no thinking at that point. Just you got all your dogs back, you just let your dogs eat, and that's kind of what it was. Just a fun game.
Yeah, I think.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.